So before we get started by putting any hoses in, I'm going to first take out the reservoir tank and give it a bit of a clean with hot water, just boiling water, and shake it around to free up some dirt, because the coolant in there is still quite dirty. And then we can put this one here, feed this one through, so it'll fit here, and then work our way from this side of the entryway across. So take this out, there's just 3 bolts, one there, and one down the bottom. So just these slide out. There we go, slides out like that. So I filled it up with boiling water and fairy liquid. I'm just going to leave it to sit for a bit, and I'm going to keep flushing it out till it's not as dirty. But while that's happening, I can just continue working on the car. I might not change these then, because it's not clipping into this one, and just to make it nice and even, I can just keep both of these the same. I'll keep them as spares for when I do change the radiator eventually. So here's the hose here. There's the clip for where it goes into here, and this hose just is too big for it, and it runs all the way under. Also there's a clip here which is also too big for it, there's a pipe for it, and it will run like that, but this hose seems to be too big for it because for some reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the original ones. Also, yeah, there's these other 2 hoses. The one that I told you is for this one, and this one is for that part there, which I don't really need to use because my ones seem okay, and I was only going to do the coolant hoses anyways. So I could just keep these as spare just in case, if these actually do have a crack, which I've just checked over them and they seem fine for both of them. So I'll keep these 2 as spare as well. So everything else here is going to be changed to the new ones, as you can see. Everything else seems fine. There is also, let me show you, the other hose. Oh, there we go. This one. Oh, maybe if I just lay on the strip. This hose here. The only part that would make sense to replace is this, because I did buy and replace this one not too long ago when I painted this blue, like before I started the channel. So I could either replace the entire part with the silicone one, or I could just also keep this as a spare one if I do want to just change my mind and do it at one point. So it's just really only the coolant hoses which are being done today. So I am going to change the clips on this to the new ones, so then it'll make it easier to work with that in the future. So let me just take the old ones off. So yeah, as you can see, I've replaced the clips on these now, so that's good. And so I'm going to replace this pipe here as well, because I have the replacement for that one, and just to get rid of the clips. So the next pipe I'm going to do is the one that runs under the manifold, the one that goes from that point there to this one here, which is next one to do, I'm going to do is this one to, where's that clip? Here, down there behind the sensor. And now for the other hose, which is one that starts here and runs down to that one by the bottom thermostat, which is this one, which is this long squiggly one basically. For the other hose, the one that comes out of this part and goes down to something behind the belts, which you won't be able to see from that angle. So the back one I fitted, it's really hard to reach the one back there, and I've actually found out that using the world's smallest spanner, a 7mm spanner, works not bad. So that, or maybe if I had on hand a 90-degree drill bit, that would work too, I think, because then you can tighten that one properly. This one's now tight. I've only got what? If you're following me, you've got 1, 2, 3 hoses left, I think. And if I go over to this pile, there are 4. Which means I'm missing or forgot something. Top one, lower radiator. Oh, I remember. Wait, no. No, yes, the heater core one, the second one. Let's do the second heater core now, and then I'll show you how to do that, and the other ones. This one here is your the other heater core pipe. It just plugs back down to where your manifold is. On one end, is that the right way? Yeah. And the other end obviously goes into the heater core. So the last 2 pipes at the bottom of the car on this side are these 2, which is, you know, the top one, which goes down here, the connector bracket, and the bottom one, which then I'm going to put all that in, put the intake in. So, like, all of the coolant stuff is all done, all the hoses. I've checked all the tightnesses for all of them, they seem pretty tight. But something came in the mail today. It's a blanking cap, which goes behind that one. So that's what I needed to now take out, and I forgot to put the mic on, so all this is going to be very bad quality. So I was able to get it off using needle nose pliers. Best way to get at it is try to line it up like that, then just pinch it with one hand, and then just get your other hand and just sort of pull it out as one piece, as that is the only way to get it off, because otherwise pulling it just with the pliers isn't going to move it, so you need to yank it with the hand. I might try to use the clip from some of the spare ones that I had, not the hose clamps, because it wouldn't work behind the engine again, because like it's too hard to tighten them. So like the other clip, maybe from the one of the air hoses, but I don't know if it'll clamp too tight, so I might have to reuse this same clip. It wasn't too hard to put in, at least, so I can just undo it, redo the other way. I've got like 9 minutes of storage left in this camera, so I'm gonna have to do it quickly. So you screw up all these screws, and then I'm going to fill up the coolant. So the ratio of coolant I'm going to go with is 30 to 70, as it doesn't get below -10 in this part of the UK. So put 2 litres, because it's a 6-litre engine of coolant, 2 litres of coolant or so, and the rest will be water. I would make sure it's distilled water, because especially here it's really hard water. So, and I'm using this funnel, so I'm just going to fill this up with the distilled water and all the coolant, and then I'm just going to fill it up and then see if there's any leaks. So I filled up the engine entirely with water and coolant. So this is with the engine off so far, so that's about that much coolant in there, and I've filled it up to where the funnel isn't taking any more water. So I'm just going to start the engine and let the thermostat open and then bleed it through. Also remember to like squeeze that hose and this hose so you can get some more coolant in the pipes. So I've run the engine now for a while until this fan starts blowing. So that means, well, the thermostat must have opened, which has allowed most of all the coolant to go in. There's a little bit left in this thing, so I'll let that, I'm going to let the coolant cool down to like another temperature, so I can see how much actually settles into the engine. And I put a bit into there. The rest of it has to go to waste because I can't really reuse that, or I just store in a bottle. Oh, while the engine was running, I was looking under the car, checking if there were any drips or anything from anywhere. Couldn't find any, which is good. So I can put the under tray on now, and that will be it. And yeah, so if you come to these fittings, they're all good. On back there's no leaks. Couldn't see any leaks from here either. And you get I mean, you just check everything over once more, just to check there aren't any leaks or not. Some other videos I have of other things, like if you want to put this dash cam on example, which is the only, like, the most recent things this year, or have other things I'm planning to do, which I'll eventually get around to. Something about an exhaust I'm going to do. Also, just a quick thing. Look, I got this cup holder. 3D printed. All done it when I was at uni. Actually really nice, and it's actually really good quality too. I also have a gauge holder too, which I'm going to put in sometime soon. When I get I'm not going to tell you what gauge, but you would like it. Yeah, that's it for this video. So, thanks for watching. If you want to see any more, subscribe. Catch you in the next one.